Good morning guys, welcome back to a brand new video here from Miracle Mountain. It seems like ages since I picked up the camera and did a video, so here I am. It has been a while. I've just been taking some time off, reflecting on everything that's been going on, and I've been getting loads of lovely messages, comments, emails of concern asking where I am and what's going on. So today I'm going to update you on everything. One of my favorite things to do on this property is just walk around in silence and just listen and watch and see what happens. It really is such a beautiful place, and the trees have started to change colour. The grass is now green, and it really is a beautiful place to just spend some time. It's been a really tough couple of months, but I'm going to update you on all of that later in the video. For now, I'm going to walk around and show you all of the things that I've been getting up to and the projects and how the animals are getting on. So with the animals, they're all absolutely fine. They're having fun as usual. So the goats, been taking them out on many walks around the property, up the mountainside, so that it can jump around on the massive boulders. They absolutely love that. The chickens, they go out in free range every single day as well, so they're happy. And the cats, they're always happy, just following us around and just being on this massive property where there are no other cats or things that are trying to kill them. So they're definitely happy here. And so are we. It's just a pleasure to have the animals. It brings us so much joy. And talking about things that can kill you, the wild dogs have not been back, which is amazing. So our deterrents have worked, which is brilliant. But just on the other side of this wall, and I can't get too close. Let's see if I can go to about there. Just up there, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a stone missing and there's a massive Asian hornet's nest. First nest was removed from the workshop. You can see there's a big hole just up here, and that's because they had to remove the roof panels. So what I'm going to have to do is, the roof panels are on the floor there. I'm going to have to refit them so nothing tries to nest in there again. But the good thing about these Asian hornets is they don't come back to the same nest. The nest is destroyed anyway, and it shouldn't be a hard job to put them panels back. The second nest was on the opposite side of the workshop in exactly the same place, almost a mirror image. So again, they had to take the panels off, and I'll have to fix that in due course, but it's not a pressing thing to do right now. There was a third nest as well in a really high tree. They had to get a huge ladder, climb up there with a massive pole extension for their sprayer, because they essentially just spray chemicals on them. In Portugal in the summer, you can't go around with a flamethrower like they do in other countries. So it is a chemical and it kills them straight away. So that is what they did for them too. And I'll show you where the other one was. So the fourth nest we had was just through here, and I can just see it in this tree. So they were all nesting in this hollowed out trunk of a tree. I don't know if you can see down there, but I would say I could put my whole arm in there. It's really quite deep, and I can see the remnants of the nest. I'm not going to touch it because obviously it's been sprayed with chemicals. So now it's just a waiting game to get rid of that final nest, but the guys were really responsive before and came around really quickly and disposed of the nests. It's a really good system actually. You basically just call your local camera, your council, and you tell them that you have one of these nests or multiples of these nests, and they send this private company around completely free, which is brilliant. And it's what's needed, because if it did cost money, some people might try and do it themselves, and these are quite dangerous hornets, so you don't want to be messing around with them yourselves, because you could really cause some harm for yourself and other people. But also people might just ignore the problem if it was going to cost them money. So the fact that it's free is a really good initiative, because we need to wipe out these nests because they are bee killers and we need bees. Tell me this isn't magical. And one of the things we've had a lot of in the last couple of weeks is some big storms. So you can see here there's a branch down. It's a pretty big branch, but that's a really easy thing to clear. But further on, there's a much bigger tree that's come down, and that's not the only tree that's come down. I'd say we probably had 3 or 4 trees come down in the last couple of weeks. But look at this area, it's absolutely stunning. Every time I walk around this property, I just fall in love once again. It's just stunning. This would make a brilliant area for some little cabins or a yoga deck or some sort of like meditation space. It's just so peaceful. It's right next to the river. Really, really nice. So as I'm walking to this fallen down tree, which is going to be a lot of work to remove, and like I said, there's probably 4 or 5 of these size trees that have come down, I got a comment and it did make me laugh. Someone was like, "Oh, you are a slave to your own land." It's just not true. I'm here doing this because I want to be here doing this. What else would I be doing? I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I don't want to sit in an office. I absolutely love having something to do every single day and go out and explore, find new places. It's what I want to do, and that is why I'm doing it. So that's important for you guys to know. I'm not a slave. I'm not here slaving away. Sometimes things get tough. That's like with anything and everywhere. It's a big property to manage, that's for sure. But trust me, I am definitely the guy for the job. So here is the fallen massive chestnut tree that you probably won't really be able to tell the scale of it because it's just hard to show in this space surrounded by other trees. But if I come further up, maybe I walk up this animal track and I can show you the root system of this tree and what's happened. So you can see down here, it was on a steep bank, and what's happened is when we had the fire has actually essentially just burnt the roots and weakened the root system. So what's happened is it's weakened, and then a couple of weeks ago we had some very, very intense rain, monsoon style rain. So that would have not helped this process, and straight after that rain this tree had fallen. But you can see it is a big one. See if I can stand on here. It's got about 4 or 5 different trunks and then all the branches coming off it. So that is going to be a big process to move because there's not very much access to this area via vehicle. It's a very good excuse to get the chainsaw out. Not that I ever need an excuse to get the chainsaw out, but I'll be working on that probably in the next couple of weeks and let that dry out, and maybe I can use it for building or firewood in the future.
Do you want your very own website but don't know where to start? Why not try out Squarespace and see for yourself how simple it is to create your very own professional looking website in no time. Designed with the user in mind, Squarespace has an easy and uncomplicated interface so you can bring your ideas to life. Browse through their templates to see which one works for you and the web page you have in mind. You can preview each template to see how it looks in real time, and it's no hassle to switch up the template at any point. We've changed our website template a couple of times over the years and it's been a breeze. The templates are customizable. Add and remove any features you want whilst altering the colour, font, layout and more. Squarespace gives you the option to buy your own domain directly through them, where you can search through various options and buy multiple domains if you wish. Handy features such as a free logo maker, newsletter and even a commerce section ensures you can have the website you want. We love having everything to do with our website in one place rather than having numerous third-party applications that all have to tie in together. Squarespace has wrapped it all up in one. So what you're waiting for, click the link in our description or head to squarespace.com/indieprojects for a 14-day free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain.
I've been spending about 90% of my time up here on the mountainside in the forest working on some really big infrastructure projects. So I'm pleased to report over the past 6 to 8 months, all of the projects that I've been working on for this moment when the big rain pours down on this property have actually done the trick, which I'm incredibly stoked about. However, there has been some things that I've been pushed back a little bit. So it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing. But I always knew that was going to be the case because this is a long project. And when this mountainside burnt, all of the brush, the undergrowth, everything, some of the stones got washed away, that slows the water down the mountain. And that's going to be a problem until new growth can come up, and that will take a fair couple of years. So I was expecting to have the rain come again, just like it did last year after the fire. And I'd say we had even more of it this year. But because of the systems that I'd worked on over the last 6 to 8 months, things are just way better. So I dug over 10 tons of dirt, stone and silt out of this concrete bowl. But unfortunately, as you can see, once we had that massive rain, some of the silt has slid back into the concrete bowl. And that's just because I didn't have enough time before the rain to build the retaining wall that I'm going to build across here over this pipe. So this pipe runs all the way to the pond and the water can flow freely into this concrete bowl, which will also be another secondary pond. So none of this silt will be back in this pond once this system is all working, but I'm either going to use stone or concrete blocks filled with concrete and rebar to create a big retaining wall here to hold all of this massive amount of dirt back. I'd say erosion is probably one of the hardest things to combat on this property because it's so big, there's so many roads, there's so many waterways that erosion is inevitable, but I am working towards it. I've got plans in place, and like I mentioned, it's actually working, which is really positive. So fast forward 2-3 years from now, everything will be fully functional and erosion will be kept to a real minimum. I'll show you some of the erosion in a minute. So the pond's looking a little bit worse aware because of all of the major rain, and we seem to over there have gained ourselves a beach that is at least probably 3, 4, 5 tons of just gravel, stone and silt. So one of the things I did is when it was absolutely hammering down with rain, I just walked the entire property to all of the major areas where the water flows and just sat in the pouring rain. Like, this is rain that I've never seen before ever in my life. It is so powerful, so strong, and could cause you harm if you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's just sliding down the mountain, which is why I've spent so much time fixing the infrastructure for that water to slow it down so that then it can finally go into the lake and fill that lake up, which I'll have a video out hopefully in the next couple of months talking all about the lake and how things are going with that. But it was so useful just sitting here and watching and seeing how everything flows, and it was doing what I imagined, which is perfect because everything I put in place wasn't pointless, but there was also a lot of learning to be had just watching the water flow. This might be a better angle to show you how much silt slid down the riverbed again. So usually the pond comes all the way around here, and that's where it starts. The water flows in from the riverbed into there, but it's all filled up. But like I say, this is something that I thought would need doing. I'm just going to slide down onto here. It's actually quite nice. I've never stood here. I'm trying to think of all the positives, and it actually is like a nice little raised beach. Obviously we've lost probably a quarter of our pond, but you can walk right down here and it's all really nice and sloped. It will actually be good for the wildlife to come down here. They've got an easier way to drink, so there's many benefits. This pond is really coming alive. Lots of pondweed and flowers and stuff that really aerates the water is starting to grow really nicely. So I'm really happy with how this is turning out, and this silt eventually will just keep building up and then we'll have to dig it out in a couple of years' time. So I'm just going to walk further up the mountain and show you the erosion, because the erosion is bad, and the erosion, let me just try and get up there. The erosion is something I really want to tackle. That's going to be one of my main priorities for 2024. You can see the erosion here. This, since we've owned the property, is eroded by about 4 feet, and that is where all the silt and stone and dirt that filled the pond in the first place came from. There's all sorts of almost like landslide areas as well. So you can see right up under there, that needs propping with stones and boulders. You can see here, this is quite recent. Loads of mud has slid out the side, exposing all of the roots that were trying to hold on to the dirt. And that is why I'm thinking it's a big priority to sort this erosion out. Otherwise it's just going to wipe out even more trees along its path and cause us more problems down the line. So if you've got any ideas of how to stop this erosion, I'm thinking one of the best things to do would to be planting willow in some of the major areas to really knit the banks together and try and stop some of that soil every time it rains just breaking apart. If it's got something to bind it together, hopefully that will help. But let me know in the comments if you've got any ideas of how to stop this erosion, because we are right now in quite a remote area of the property with no real road access, so getting big excavators and diggers in here isn't really an option, but we can definitely build up the banks in certain areas with the stone that is in the riverbed. I've been working on quite a few other projects up here as well, and it's been really nice. Like, it's such a beautiful area. You can see this tree needs to come down just there, and there's another fallen tree that needs to come down here. So it is important to clear up this area and figure out that erosion problem. Okay, so now I've shown you what's been going on around the property. Let's talk a little bit about Bee, this channel, what's going on, why have I not been posting, where's Bee? And Bee currently isn't on the property at the moment. She's back in the UK. She has a meeting with a private surgeon today. So that's really good news that things are progressing forward, because she is going to be having surgery in the next month. And it was a big life-changing decision for sure, especially for Bee. You know, like it's a big thing to have done. I'm not going to go into what the surgery is right now, and it is with a private surgeon, so it's going to be private. It's not with the NHS, because in the past we've had like almost like a hate campaign against us, saying that we're putting pressure on the NHS because Bee's gone back to the UK for some medical treatment. No, it's private. So please just be kind in the comments. The amount of abuse that I've been getting since the last video and the video before that is just, it's just so unfun. I've got a really thick skin, yes I have, but I shouldn't have to read these comments. It's just frustrating. But anyway, that's going off on a completely different tangent. Just be kind. We're humans. We have emotions, we have feelings, and we have things going on in our life that we're doing our best to combat and overcome. So that's all I want to say about that. I won't say what Operation Bee is going to be having. She will go into that probably on our Patreon and on our Instagram later down the line, but she's not going to be in the videos. She's just not going to be in the videos because it's a month until she has the surgery, and then it's at least a month that she's going to be back in the UK. So hopefully I'm going to have Bee back here on the property for Christmas. That would be really nice. We can just have a really nice chilled Christmas together. I'm going to really miss her, but I'm going to be holding everything down here on the property and looking after the animals and getting projects done that need doing. So yeah, it's going to be some time apart, which we haven't had time apart like that for nearly our whole relationship. The last time I can remember a long time apart is when Bee was at university and I was working in Birmingham and she was up in the Lake District at uni. And yeah, it's not nice being separated at all. I'm not looking forward to it. That's the honest truth, but it has to be done. I have to be here looking after this place, and obviously we speak every day. But yeah, I already can't wait to have her back. We've been together since we were 16 years old and I'm 34 years old now, so it's been a long time and I couldn't think of anyone better to spend my life with. And hopefully this operation is really going to help our future and we can push forward and overcome some of the problems that she's been facing. So I hope you guys can all understand that. Let's give Bee some privacy. Let's give me some privacy for a little while, and then I'm sure we'll talk about it down the line. Thank you for watching this video. I'm going to do my best to put out videos, but to be honest, I'm finding it incredibly tough. I've got a lot on my plate with managing this property, and filming videos is kind of on the back burner while I give myself a little bit of time to just have a mental break. It has actually been really nice just putting the camera down and getting some jobs done that need doing and taking away some of the stress. So hopefully you can understand the situation, and thank you for all the amazing comments and all the support. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, sending us emails and comments and messages, it really does inspire us and keep us going. So thank you so much, and I hope you'll keep watching the videos with just me in them. You know, hopefully I'm not that boring that you don't want to watch just me, but I'm going to bring you along and show you everything that I've got to do in the coming years. I'm excited. There's a lot to do, but yeah, every day I need this. I need this stimulation every day to go out and have something to focus on and get done. That is the way my brain works. That's just who I am. If I sit down for too long, then I start feeling quite sad, to be honest. And I need to be out moving around, be in nature. I hope you guys can understand the situation, and I really hope you guys will follow along with the videos with just me in them. I've got some really exciting projects coming up and I can't wait to bring you guys along for the journey. If you want to leave some love in the comments for Bee and some positive thoughts, that would be much appreciated, and I'll make sure I read them out to her. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.